Let's warm up with a nice cup of coffee. It's okay. It's all right. Not the best. Coffee just doesn't taste good when you're sick. Ugh. Should have went with tea. We finally got a little bit of rain today. That's nice. It's gloomy again. Oh man, I have been away for quite some time. I don't know how long it's been since I've made a video, but yeah, I had all these ideas, and my wife and I got sick, and that just kind of slowed us down a little bit. Slowed me down. I'm more of a baby when it comes to getting sick, whereas my wife she powers through. I have not been reading that much. I finished Salem's Lot, and I've yet to give a review for that. I don't know. Book reviews are just not exciting to me right now because I like to talk a little deeper than just, hey, this book was good, this book was bad. I like this book, and you should read it. I like to get into the nitty gritty. Why do I do this? So after Salem's Lot, I am now back on the Wheel of Time wagon. Book 12, The Gathering Storm. My first taste of Brandon Sanderson. Well, my second taste. Mistborn was my first, and I didn't like it that much. But so far, I'm about 154 pages in. I'm loving it. I don't see any issues with Brandon Sanderson's writing. I think he has done a phenomenal job. I think Sanderson has done a really good job emulating Robert Jordan's writing style, and I don't see much of a difference. I do think some of the pacing is better, and he paints a more quick picture. I ran a Dungeons and Dragons one-shot for some friends. That was fun. That was really fun. And that kind of got me fixated on writing and building out my own homebrew world, making changes, studying. So I started this 2 weeks ago, and I haven't been reading as much. And that's okay. I've been sick and I've been busy with work. But on my free time, I've just been like obsessed with writing and just coming up with ideas, and because I miss D&D. I have not played it in a while. So it'd be nice to try to get the family together and maybe do a mini campaign or get some friends. So last week I attempted to film a video, and that video was a bookshelf tour. I do not own a bookcase, like most people have in the back of their videos. Ugh. Yeah, I have various shelves throughout my home, and there's a purpose for them. I like to kind of show off some of my favorite books and strike up conversations with guests and people who come into our home. And sometimes a book is just a really nice illustrated hardcover edition that I'd like to show off. And then most of my books are in my closet. So I'm probably not gonna post it. It felt off. It didn't feel genuine, and I'd rather have in-depth conversations about a specific book or a series that I have read, um, rather than just show off all the books I own, because I don't think that's the point. The most important book is the book that's on your nightstand and the one that you're currently reading, because if you're just distracted by all the other books that are on your bookshelf or that you've yet to collect, then that's a different hobby. I'm still trying to rack my brain at what I want to talk about in this video. Do I do my Salem's Lot review? Do I just get that out of the way? How are you guys? How's everyone else doing? What are y'all reading? Tell me about that. I want to talk about that. This could be kind of a small topic we can talk about, the length of books. And you shouldn't be afraid of the length of a book. I don't think that's the right attitude to have. I've seen some comments on some of my videos about how, oh, that's too long of a book. Oh, that page count scares me. And that's normal. Like, I get that. Like, for me, when you visually see a book and it's 1,000 pages, that's like, whoa, that's a commitment. However, don't let fear paralyze you. Don't let the fear of a 1,000-page book scare you. And I guess we could just talk about, like, I brought some other examples here. This is a short story, and I guess it was published as a book. This is The Body by Stephen King. This book is not even 200 pages. It's not even 180 pages. 179 pages. You could read that in a day, probably. Maybe 2 or 3 days, if you're just kind of relaxing. That's not scary, okay? Not even 300 pages. I think 291, 292, okay? That's a fun read, and it's easy to carry in your hand, okay? That's probably a week, maybe a couple days. All right, and then you've got Salem's Lot. Salem's Lot is 653 pages. All right, so it is pretty much double this size. Some people are a little more cautious approaching a book when it is, 500, 600, 700 pages, 1,000 pages. I think if the concept and the idea of the book and the story and the content within that book is intriguing to you, the page count should not matter. Man, oh man, this coffee is just horrible. Like, I made it fine. I don't know if it's my taste buds or what, but why am I still drinking it? Let's say I'm going to read a 300-page book, roughly. What is 300 pages more? That's double this. So why would that freak some people out? It's interesting. The way I read books now and the way I look at books, it's just so different. It's because I'm 12 books into a 14-book series, The Wheel of Time. And I know, I bring it up in every one of my videos. I'm using The Wheel of Time as an example. The Wheel of Time is a 14-book series, and each of those books are about 500 to 800 pages. That's a lot. I think there's 4.4 million words in that whole series. So anything outside of Wheel of Time seems like a cakewalk for me, because it is a self-contained story. Wheel of Time is totally different because each book is a piece of the overarching story. I'm not saying that it isn't a relaxing read. It is just a dense read, and it requires a lot of your attention and discipline. Whereas, reading, a 170-page book, this is kind of like, it's nothing. All I'm trying to do is provide encouragement in that you should never be afraid of the page count of a book. You got other Stephen King books like It and The Stand. Those are 1,000+ pages. You've got Brandon Sanderson, who writes, 1,000+ page books. If a story or if a subject matter is enticing to you and excites you, dive in. Who cares about if it's 500 pages or 800 pages? All that matters is that you enjoy the book and enjoy the journey. If you're focused on the page count of a book, that will ruin the enjoyment you have reading that book. You'll be counting each page until the very end because you're just like, okay, how many more pages? Oh my gosh. That's no way to read. That's no way to enjoy a book. That'll make it a chore. And you'll be reading to have read, and you'll be reading to have finished it rather than to have enjoyed it. There's so many amazing books out there that are 200 pages, and there's so many amazing books out there that are 1,200 pages. So what? 200 pages? 1,000 pages? Pick what you want to read, and don't let the page count scare you. Don't let the length of a book scare you. And to piggyback back on Wheel of Time, because of how many books and how long each of these books are within that series, I think it's kind of nice to just read a single 1,000-page self-contained book. You are trusting that author. You're losing yourself within this world that the author has created. And all the characters and all the story points and bits of world building and politics and subtleties are all self-contained within this 1,000-page book. That's pretty cozy. And all you need is to own that single book. You don't need to buy 14 of these books, to read the whole series. Now, on the other side of the coin, I resonate with being a little more cautious when approaching a book series, like a 7-book series, a 10-book series, a 14-book series. That's a lot. And when you are trying to navigate your own journey of reading and how you want to divide up your time to read books, do you want to dedicate a lot of your time within one series or read a lot of self-contained single books? Going into Wheel of Time, I don't know. I just jumped in and I pushed through because I felt like if I read anything outside of that, it would just wipe any momentum I had going into it. I've only taken breaks toward the latter end of the series because now I don't want the series to end. When going into series, I think it is a little more enticing and attractive when you see a nice, tight trilogy. That's sexy right there. That's nice. Just 3 books, I'm done. Because I think 3 books is nice because you get more than just one book. Because sometimes one book is just not enough within especially a fantasy series. And I feel like you just get just enough of that world and living in the shoes of the characters. Whereas sometimes a series that's 6 books, 7 books, 10 books, and so on, can be a little too long and overstay its welcome. Okay, stop drinking this. Just stop. It doesn't taste good. I'm gonna go make tea right now. Let's talk about this. Does a book's length scare you? Do you prefer short books, long books? Do you prefer a nice tight trilogy or a nice long 15-book saga? Let me know what you like or what you don't like, and tell me why, because you know me, I like to talk about books. Usually I end my videos taking a sip of my coffee, but that's not going to happen today. This is gross. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry for taking a while on this and getting a video out to you guys, but man, I can't wait to talk to you and hear all about what you're reading and what you like and don't like. I miss this. It's a lot of fun. Thank you. And excited to talk books with you.